Good morning, everyone. Here we are at the end of our preparations for the PMI PBA exam, and as I promised, I was going to provide you a session showing some tips and tactics in order for you to get prepared and ready to sit for the PMI PBA exam. We have gone together throughout a lot of presentations before, and these presentations provides you with a solid foundation for you to be ready, as I said previously, 85% for the exam. The remaining efforts is put on you. Definitely you guys need to do some researches, see some examples, practice yourself some examples, and I'm pretty confident, as I said, that you will sit for that exam and you will pass it and you will become a business analyst professional, a certified business analyst professional, and that will help you in your career. Definitely that will also help you in your personal life in dealing with some decisions, business decisions, personal business decisions. That is very valuable knowledge. It's a knowledge which can be grasped over a period of time. Definitely keep on building on that knowledge, and definitely you will find yourselves that you have moved, you have stepped forward, and in your career there was a paradigm shift from one place to the other. Without further ado, let's discuss a little bit together. Let's interact and see what are the tips. I have some tips, but they are not all. I'm pretty sure that you guys have amazing, fantastic ideas. Please do share them in the comment and let us learn from each other on the best tips, how we can help someone pass the PMI PBA exam. Excuse my voice a little bit today, I have some flu. Excuse me. But right, let's start. First of all, the first step after becoming fond of the material and ready 100%, you feel yourself. You will know yourself more than anyone else. You will know that for sure that is not an easy exam. You guys need to be, but also it's not a very difficult exam. But you guys know that you have to be ready, study thoroughly and extensively, and take it very seriously. And then after you are fond of your knowledge and yourself, the first step is fill that application. So you submit your application, your online application on pmi.org after you are 100% fond of your knowledge and you are pretty sure that if tomorrow you go and sit for the exam, you will pass it. You will know yourself. That's the first thing that you should do. Submit an online application and wait a couple of days, maybe up to 1 week, maybe up to 2 weeks, until PMI, the Project Management Institute, respond to you by email about your eligibility to sit for the exam. If you are eligible and you have not been audited, then excellent. You will have from that time, once you get that email, the eligibility, you will have a 1 year, 365 days to sit for the exam. And within these 365 days, you have 3 attempts. So plan it properly that you can attempt within a parallel or a similar time slot during the period of 1 year. Okay, so choose a sprint of 4 months, then sit for the exam. Then choose another sprint or iteration. Now I am using terminologies because you have the knowledge, and you have we have discussed a lot about predictive life cycle. So even studying can be a project. Okay, you are achieving an endeavor. Okay, so use that iteration or sprint agile methodology to allocate a time slot or a time box of 4 months within a 1 year period. Why? Because as we said in our first presentation, if you fail the first time, then you will have equally the same time to study and prepare. And if you fail the second time, then you have fair and equal opportunity to sit for the third time with the given that is provided from PMI. This is the first thing, the first important steps in your success for passing the PMI PBA exam. I'm pretty sure once you are fond, as we said, of your knowledge, and you submitted and you have been accepted or eligible by PMI to sit for the exam without any audit, then on your first attempt, after 2 weeks from your submission and eligibility, you can sit for the exam, and I'm pretty sure you will pass, because you've already studied and you know yourself that this is a challenging exam. It's not an easygoing exam. It's a global, international accredited certification which requires efforts. So if you have taken all these considerations, I'm pretty sure on your first attempt you will pass. Let's say you have not been accepted or eligible without the audit process. You have undergone the audit process. Also, as I discussed in my earlier presentations, you have planned properly, and you knew you have studied, and you have assumed that you will be audited. So the assumption is that you will be audited. So you have prepared your attested university degree or your high school, if depending on the two options, attested and official in an envelope. You have prepared all of these. You have prepared your work experience, your commendation or letter of certificate of services from your previous organizations, from your previous work, 8 years or 5 years, or depend on the number of hours which you have submitted. And you have prepared the 35 hours certificate from the authorized PMI institute, which you have done the course, the PMI PBA course. And then you will submit all this information to you will DHL them to an address, which is the PMI Institute address in the US, and you will wait for the results of the audit process. Okay, and once you are eligible, then you will hopefully again be granted permission to sit for the exam. So these are the basic steps, but any wrong step taken would result in either delaying the process to sit for your exam, and this carries with it a risk that if you delay it, probably you will not have the same momentum and the same drive to keep studying. Probably you will forget some concepts which you have mastered and once you were ready for the exam. So the audit process could delay you. right? So in order not to be surprised, this should be planned ahead, thought of earlier, and that way there are no surprises. You guys are ready. Okay? So proper planning, thinking ahead will definitely help you pass the PMI PBA exam. Now, let's say uh, we have been granted permission to sit for the exam. Audit, we have passed the audit. Let's say if no audit, well, fair enough, no audit, we have passed, we are eligible to sit for the exam. What's the first thing to do? Well, definitely when you were studying for the exam, you have taken notes. We have recorded these presentations, these 8 or 9 presentations before. It's very important to go and watch them again. It's 8 hours, right? 2 days, 4 hours, 4 hours every day. Before you sit for the exam, watch these presentations again. And if there is a technique or a task or a deliverable or an activity or a process or a concept which you are not fond of and you still feel that you are not 100% sure, go ahead and fill in that gap, study and read about it and master it before you go and sit for the exam. Okay, so this is gap analysis, plugging the final gaps before sitting for the exam. That is one of the important strategies. Second, definitely you have applied to a center authorized center where you are going to sit for the exam. So it's always advisable to go 2 days or 1 day before the exam. Go and try that route until you reach to the exam. Is there traffic on the road? Do you know exactly where is the center? Just familiarize yourself with the center, with the route, with the way to go. Okay, do your journey management plan before you go. Okay, try it. What time I go, what time I reaching earlier, relaxing before the exam are all key factors to pass the exam. So the second step, some hints and tips while you are doing the exam. Let's recap a little bit. We have said earlier that the exam is composed of 200 questions, and all the questions are multiple choice questions. But they are not easy questions, and you have 4 hours to pass that exam. Out of the 200 questions, you will be marked on the basis of 175 questions out of 200, which will be picked anonymously. So you, as a candidate testing, you will not know which 25 questions out of the 200 questions will not be marked. Okay, so you as the candidate should answer the 200 questions as if they are all marked in order for you to increase your chances to pass the exam. Keep in mind that you don't have much time. You might think that 4 hours is ample time to pass the exam, but this is time is quicker, and you should be faster than time when sitting for the PMI exam or any other PMI certification. So the strategy or the tactic is not to get locked on a question where you spend more than 1 minute or 2 minutes. That's a wrong step, and I will explain to you why it's a wrong step. It's a wrong step because time will pass and you will not finish the exam, and the chances of you passing the exam will diminish. What do I do? Now you will be asking me, Michel, what should we do? What is the way forward? Well, I'm pretty sure some people will write a lot of way forwards down, and we are more or less is the same strategy, and that is recommended also by PMI, how to sit for the exam. So first of all, run through the 200 questions quickly, answer what you can, and mark for review any question that you could not answer, or not that you could not answer, or that you feel you are reading the exam question more than once. Means you are nervous, this is not gonna come quickly, you will be wasting time, probably you are stressed and you don't know it. Some people might be stressed, or some people might be a bit stubborn to solve the problem and not move forward. So leave it, mark it for review, and go run through the 200 questions. Let's say you have run through the 200 questions and you have answered, let's say 100, and now you'll be panicking and you'll be thinking, oh, I've answered only 100 questions out of 200, I'm gonna fail that exam. Halfway through the 4 hours, you will be thinking, oh, I'm going to fail that exam. Oh, and then you will stress and you will collapse and you will panic, and definitely you will fail the exam. No, not at all. You have done a great job by answering 100 questions the first round. Look at it from the positive perspective. You have answered half of the exam questions correctly, maybe if not 100%, 95%, because you are fond of them, you have answered quickly. And you still have half of the time to go through the questions which you have already, your mind have already perceived this information, and the second look at it, you will quickly get the answer. So you are doing very well. That means if you do that and you pass 100 questions the first 2 hours out of the 4 hours, you have done a great job. You have done an excellent job. Your chances of passing the exam will be very high at that stage. Okay, definitely the second round, when you run through the exam questions, your level of stress, having that perception, your mindset that, okay, no, first of all, not to panic, because as I said, you have answered 100 questions, you still have half the time allocated, you are doing great job. So having that in mind, when you go through the second round, you will be very comfortable. You will remove the stress that was on your shoulder when you started the exam, because normally you will be stressed the first couple of minutes during the exam. It's an exam environment. We are all familiar with the exams. The levels of stress are different, but at the end of the day, there is stress. And believe me, guys, no one should say he doesn't have or she doesn't have stress for an exam. There are 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning where the candidate feel stressed, and the level of stresses are different from one person to the other. So having that in mind, 100 questions answered quickly and in a good shape, in a good manner, going through the second 100 for the remaining 2 hours, first of all, I will feel more relaxed, because how do I think of it? I will look at it, well, I have 100 questions. If these 100 questions, I am going to solve them all, and I at least will solve 60% of the 100, and then my chances of passing the exam will be higher, and then definitely whatever comes right from the remaining 40 questions, that will put me in a very strong position to pass the exam. Okay, so once we have that perception and that thought in mind, that is it. That's it. We are in control of the exam, and the exam is not in control of us. Right? We don't want to let the exam get control on us. We will control the exam, not vice versa. Because if the exam controls us, that's it. We will fail. And don't be ashamed of failing. Failing is first attempt in learning. FAIL, first attempt in learning. No one should be ashamed of failing. PMI expects people to fail. That's why they give them an eligibility of 3 attempts, because that is again not an easy exam. It's a well accredited exam that makes it a reputable and well recognized exam. That's why this is part of your success. Well, we have gone through the second round. Excellent stuff. Maybe you will finish 1 hour earlier. So maybe the second 100 questions, and believe me, the second 100 questions, you will solve them quickly and immediately, and you will see answers coming. Why? Because the level of stress that you have started has diminished. You have done some of the answers of the questions, you will find them in other exam questions. So out of the 200 questions, you will, once you go the first round, answers or ideas that you did not think of will come to you again, and they will appear in other questions, and then you will have higher chances of solving the 100 remaining questions quickly, and that will maximize your success in the exam. Pay attention when reading the questions. Pay attention for negation. For instance, something like this is not part of, or excludes, or what must not be done, what should we not do, right? Pay attention to the negation. Sometimes when you are reading the exam questions, you will think of it in a different way. So pay attention to negations. Okay. Pay attention also to words such as generalizing words. For instance, as I said, we must do. Normally, answers in the multiple choice which carry words such as must or should, or they are not a true answer to the question, right? So properly qualified answer or statement, may, you will see the word may or perhaps, or so these are the key tactics or tips also to pay attention at while sitting for your exam. Again, make sure before, when you go to the exam room, also you have, if it is winter season, make sure you have some more clothes on you. If it is a hot season, make sure you are comfortable, you are always hydrated, you keep a bottle of water near you. More or less, the majority of the exam centers, they give you earplugs in case you have some other people taking the test and some noise, but normally it is a silent exam room or atmosphere. But just take note or prepare for these things. Get some snacks with you in case you feel hungry, and then hunger is a big distractor, as we know. So keep some nice some snacks with you, sweet chocolates, whatever you like. And what I can think of also for the exam, right? In the exam, you will not be allowed to get with you anything inside the center. The exam will give you a pencil and a paper, and that this pencil and paper, I guess they will be left in the center. You're not allowed to take notes out of the center with you because of the confidentiality of the exam and the security, information security. So you can have maybe 15 minutes before you take some notes, download what you have studied, some concepts which you forget normally, write them down on a piece of paper. That will make you more comfortable before you start the exam. The exam is an online exam, so once you submit your final answers and click on submit, definitely you will get your result: P, pass, F, fail. right? That is a quick result, and then after that you can start doing your prepare for your PDUs, 60 hours PDUs. It depends on like agile, 30 PDUs, PMP 60 hours PDUs, PMI PBA 60 hours. So that is mainly some key but important tips to pass the exam. I'm trying to think if there are some things which we need to take note of. Mainly these are the main tips that we should be following in order to maximize our success or our chances for passing the PMI PBA exam. Guys, I think that is a short, not very short, I've promised 15 minutes. So anyway, I hope that information is very helpful to all of you. I wish you all success in your studies, in any type of studies that you are doing, whether PMI certifications or other type of certifications. Knowledge is the strongest power. I wish you all the best. Let's build on each other's knowledge and let us move forward to make the world a better place for everyone. With that, I come to the conclusion of that PMI PBA presentations. I hope that these presentations were beneficial to all of you. Again, interact and engage with each other. Subscribe to my channel, and I will promise you, based on your requests, I will try my best to prepare some additional presentations. If your questions or if you ask some other questions, I'm ready to prepare something and deliver it to all of you. So that will definitely help you. Okay, subscribe to my channel, comment and share this information, share this knowledge with all the people that are preparing and are studying and are looking for some source of information to help them. This is the background, this is the foundation. It's not everything. We build on it, and together we improve. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Bye bye.